Greetings Canadians and welcome to the version 259 anniversary event breakdown video. And before we get started, please remember that any and all information is subject to change due to any and all changes that Nexon may or may not do during the time period of this patch's release. Please remember to consult the official patch notes on the official website for any changes and the description for any noted corrections that I may need to do. And with that being said, let's get started. This first minigame of the event is a standard PvP style minigame that puts 5 players against another set of 5 players. If the teams are not full when you queue up, some people may be kicked out of the game in order to actually balance out the teams. And, to any trolls in the community, Nexon actually planned an anti-troll mechanic that if you try to score in your own goal more than twice, you'll be auto-kicked out and put in a 10-minute penalty. From this, you can earn a total of 300 collection points per day per account. This will be needed for later, but I'll cover that later as well. And even if you max out the collection points for that day, you can still play some more rounds. The reason being is because if you complete more rounds, you can actually complete more accumulated wins for that reward list on the patch notes. I won't be listing it here as there's too many items to list. And the next part is the Legend Return minigame as it makes its return once more. To those who know this is a hero class pick style PvP minigame where you can play as a specific NPC that has its own set of unique skills that you will need to use in the PvP setting. Though this may be just in the patch notes missing this detail, but you can also earn a total of 300 points for winning and 150 points when you lose, though it doesn't specify if this has a daily limit or a limit in general, but I am willing to bet it actually follows the previously mentioned minigame, and it is once per day, per account, at 300 points for each set day. And as for the ranking portion of this event, the information is lacking on how the ranking is actually based on, but I'm actually going to be assuming that's either total wins or total points, though I actually doubting the point system part of my assumption, so it's more than likely to be total wins. The next portion of this event is called the Victoria Cup Homecoming Mission, and for this part of the event, it is your daily check-in portion. From this UI, you'll be required to kill 1,000 mobs per day for up to 5 times per week. And then you gotta manually check in via the event's UI check-in button, as this isn't an automatic one from the looks of it. Additionally, there's a collection portion to the UI where you will be required to do one minigame in order to check in for this portion of the event UI. And like with the previous ones, you'll need to collect 300 collection points per day in order to check in for this specific tab. Once again, the collection points are from the minigames. And thankfully, the rewards from either check-ins do not seem to be claimed right away, as they're stored in their respective tabs at the bottom via an exchange or claim button. And as usual, if you missed any of these check-ins, you can actually spend 3,000 mega points to make up any of them right away. This portion of the event is the event skills, and thankfully, they run throughout the entire duration of the event, so there's going to be no segmented portions for this. For the Team Victory and Team Synergy card skills, these are the standard level up via the skill points currency that we get from the daily and the minigame check-ins. And for Team Victory and Team Synergy skills, those are your standard ones that we usually get for every single event. But the next one's going to be a little bit more special. For the Speckleman card skills, these are an RNG style roll system on top of the 2 that we already have, and this one requires you to collect Speckleman medals from hunting mobs near your level. The way this specific system works is that for the medals you farm, you will use them to roll 3 random skills and 3 random tiers for said skills. And until the patch goes live, please note that I may be wrong at this point, but it seems to have a black cube function where we can actually pick up either before or after rolls. And I will clarify this in the description or in the comments when the time arrives. And lastly is the fact that there's actually also a hidden mission for the ultimate collab portion of this event. I don't have the information yet, but I will include that later in another video or a YouTube short of its own. This next minigame is another PvP style minigame where you will compete against 7 other players to collect collection points and racing points. Collection points, as we already know, goes toward the daily check-in that you are required to do, while the racing points are used towards the cumulative race points rewards. And besides that, there's not much to cover on this, so I'll be moving on to the next part. The next portion of the patch notes covers the stamp exchange, the meso shop, and the badge shop. There's nothing too much to know for the stores, but I will be using this time spent to have their details in the info corner at the bottom of the video to actually showcase it at the very least. The next part of this event is actually the trophy exchange, which is actually going to be the weekly boss kill shop. The weekly cap is 2,000 trophies per week, which will be obtainable via the weekly boss kills you do. The full list is on the patch notes, and I will not be including it as it's a little bit too bulky to include in the screen right now. The next part of the event is our Punch Gang, which only spans a total of 3 weeks, but the patch notes do not state a daily or weekly limit. But until the patch goes live, I will assume it's going to be a 1 EXP reward once per week. And if I'm wrong, please check in the comments for that correction, and if I neglect to include it, please let me know down below. The reason I assume so is because you need to participate in 2 times to attain the balloon pop share, which means it's going to be out of 2 out of 3 of the weeks, which kind of makes sense. The next part is the Legion Pop Challenge. This is another round of the Punch King, though this one is actually notably different. The difference being is that it has a noted weekly reset as well as a weekly limit. Furthermore, it also actually has a really strange system where you can get 1 additional point for every 2.5 million Legion Ray power that you have, up to a total of 300 extra points. And if I'm understanding this correctly, we can supposedly just get to up to 1,750 points if you're loaded on Legendary Power and get automatically capped out for the week on that one. And like with the previous Punch King, participating in this Punch King twice will give you a chair. Shadow Herder Race is going to be the training event skill for the entire duration of the event, and like with the last one, this one activates our per character, but only this one actually has a total of 30 activations, which means a fair bit more EXP for us this time around. This next part of the event is going to be a two-parter on its own, the time frames of which are both on the bottom left of the corner right now. And the gist of this is essentially just going to be you farming mobs and collecting the 4 different drink types that you can see now, each of which will give you a certain amount of energy which will move you across the event UI. And for each meter that you actually travel on the UI, you will gain 1 long distance running coin, of which has a daily limit of 500 coins. And as of the recording of this video, the rewards are not visible, so you will actually have to refer to it in-game for that when it goes live, or if they bother fixing the patch notes. Snack Break is going to be a classic event killing map, where all the buffs are removed on entry and you are given a special event specific skill for that map. You will also be required to kill 999 mobs, and while inside, for every 200 mobs that you kill, you will spawn a Pop Pop Candy mini boss, of which it gives them more EXP than the mobs that are in the map and drops a set of useless items. The next part of the event is going to be an AFK EXP map that seems to be catered towards characters below level 260, but I'm wagering it's going to be more so specifically better for levels 200 to 230 as it usually is. And the next part of this event is called Heat of the Festival. According to the patch notes, there doesn't seem to be anything significant that you have to do. This looks like you just gotta talk to the Dances of the Balrog NPC in the event map and just get free rewards, and that's all it looks like what it is. The Goodbye Victoria Cup portion of the event is a 10 days worth of check-ins for the end of the event, where you will need to kill 1,000 mobs per day in order to actually check in. Checking in for a total of 10 days will allow you to claim 2 3x EXP coupons, and at the very least, for the daily check-ins, we can get 500 stamps and 500 badges for each day's check-in, and on the 5th and 10th day, we will instead get 1,000 for each. And to those who forgot, those are actually the currency for the event shops. And the final part of this event is the Hit the Road portion, and this just looks like to just be merely a daily kills check-in style event where you just gotta kill 1,000 mobs per day. Hey guys, Peanut here again. I hope this was helpful for you guys, and if you have any other questions, feel free to ask me down in the comments below and I'll try my best to answer them if I can. Also, did you know that I have a free Patreon? I post useful event infographics and guides on there for any and all events that are released in GMS. Everything that I post on my Patreon will always be free, but if you're feeling generous and wish to support me in my efforts, you can! Any and all support is greatly appreciated as it all goes directly towards me growing my channels. So don't forget to leave a like if you found this video helpful and maybe even subscribing for future event guides. And with that being said, thanks for watching and the continued support, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!